Hello everybody, welcome to your daily pop. More gorgeous weather to be outside, and I gotta tell you, it's so funny. Every time I come to set up, I set up in the sun and then I start doing something on my devices and then I'm under the shade of the tree. I keep moving because I like to have the devices in the shade and the cards be in the sun, but be that as it may, I love these for today because well-being, this is a sense that we can always garner for ourselves if we slow down and assess where we are and not try to push ourselves too hard. For instance, on weekends, I know when I wake up at a certain time, one of the first things we like to do is go for our walks together, like as a family, or at least with Ian and I, and get some exercise in and start our day that way. But if I start to push myself and I think, oh, besides this, I have this many reads and that, and I start to push, my sense of well-being starts to disintegrate because I'm overwhelming myself with what I think I should do for the day. But having well-being is almost the opposite of trying to cram stuff into your agenda or your day. Well-being is being absolutely fine however and wherever you are and whatever you're doing in that moment. Having gorgeous present moment awareness, enjoying your food if you're having your breakfast, enjoying the sights like today in the walk in the park. Gorgeous. I mean, the trees are blowing and they're lush and they're full, and a lot of them are starting to change. Super high tide and the water was like all glistening in the sun. And as much as my head was trying to drift off into stuff and plans for later in the day, I pulled myself back to where I was in a present moment awareness. And I think that always helps our well-being. Self-preservation, service to spirit, and youthful experience. When we have these things, we're service to spirit and to ourselves when we stop and we really embrace, I'm just going to push this up a little bit, what is going on right in front of us right now, the people with us, what they are saying, are we listening, how we're feeling, are we paying attention? Any little thing like, are we hydrated, are we overstimulated by something? Like I know, sometimes I'll walk in a room and if somebody has the TV on, it's really, really loud. I don't appreciate that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I think there's an eagle flying above my head right now. Oh my gosh, it is. Wow. I'm not kidding you. I was looking down at the camera and I just felt like I wasn't even trying to lift my head, and I lift my head up and there's an eagle just soaring up above me. And if it gets closer, I'll take the camera and I'll zoom in on it. Really impressive. I'm so excited. So you guys, this is what like self-preservation too is. Pay attention to your bandwidth, how much energy you have to pay attention to other people, especially if they are having drama or dilemmas and it starts to sap you of your strength. Self-preservation is all about saying, you know what, I really can't involve myself in that drama right now. You know what, this is a little taxing. Like I know sometimes I ask my clients, leave me voice messages if you're feeling a certain way because it's easier than trying to type everything out. But if I look and I see 15 streams of voice messages from several different people, what can happen is I will feel the sense of urgency to listen to them, but then I'll stop myself and go, you know what, have you taken a day off? Have you taken a half day off? Do you have other things for your well-being that you need to look after today? You know what, cooking, organizing, whatever it is, it's like you don't need to do this 7 days a week. So do that for yourself. If you feel yourself always going to your inbox for your emails and, you know, checking in on business over and over and thinking you have to, you know, close every tab out, really assess where you are emotionally. Do you have the bandwidth to deal with these things, or do you even want to? Or are you just trying to have a nice peaceful day? I know sometimes some of my best days are when I don't even go on my devices, and I rarely do because I rarely do that for myself just because, you know, again, being habitual and it's part of my businesses and I want to make sure, you know, people aren't feeling neglected. But I just check in quickly and then I just take that off day and I go to the beach and I go for my walks and I take, you know, and family day, whatever it is, you know, that helps with this. Now, there's a little bit of a breeze, so I'm going to put that on there. I love this so much. So let's take a look at the universal Merkaba here, a sacred purpose. You have the answer, lucid dreaming. I had a really unique and cool dream yesterday. There were two bodies of water, and on one side, the body of water was really crystal clear, and there was like a starfish and a single fish, and it was crystalline, it was beautiful, and I was watching that. I was very peaceful. And on the other side, it's where a storm had like raised all this tumult, so the water was really murky and like it looked eerie, and it looked like, you know, there could have been strange and like onerous creatures in there, like alligators or something. And for whatever reason, I was right on this little body of land in between this, And every time my attention would go over to like the icky spot, I would start to feel different internally. I'd start to feel stress and anxiety, like what is all of this stuff in there and what is going on? And then I would hear this inner voice, why are you paying attention to this body of water on the right that you're not going to go and swim or exist in, but yet it's making you feel bad, but you keep looking over there? Why are you doing that when all you have to do is look left into this clear body of water where you see a single starfish and a fish, and it brings you such joy and happiness and its simplicity and its cleanliness and its purity and how great it is? That's almost, and it reminded me of, that's our ego and our heart space thinking, right? Our ego is always like muddying the waters, making things complicated, difficult, dramatic, and gooey, and like complicated, right? Where our heart space, our heart chakra, and our intuition is very simple. You know, it comes from a pure state, and it makes us feel good when we follow that kind of direction from it and that mode of thinking. So it led me to believe, you know, that it was basically like Spirit's message saying, when these thoughts come in, yes, you can look at them briefly, but let them go and put your attention back on that beautiful, purified space that brings you joy and happiness, because it is an absolute waste of time to stare at these murky waters that are filled with all of this stuff that have nothing to do with you. It was really quite a unique thing when I woke up, and it reiterated that when you have that present moment awareness that you're thinking these thoughts that don't help you heal, grow, and feel better, why are we allowing them to stay in that headspace, and why are we paying attention to them? I'm so excited. The eagle is just soaring like way up there over my neighbor's yard, like really high in the sky. It's so beautiful. And I just felt like there was something unique and magical about today. And tomorrow's I think it's my 27th wedding anniversary, on the 27th. And so it's really, really cool. It's either the 26th or 27th, but I'm pretty sure it's the 27th. And I'm really excited because when I woke up, I realized that September had just been disappearing. And I'm like, wait a minute, I was married in September. What's the date? Then I was like, oh my gosh, Ian, is our anniversary today? And he's like, no, it's tomorrow. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this whole month disappeared. But this is what I mean with a sacred purpose. We all have this. We all have the answers to what helps us out, whether it comes through dreaming. And I was able to turn my dream and turn it into a lucid dream and kind of connect with what the imagery and the message was to it. And I was like, yeah, why am I looking over on this Badawati that seems threatening and gives me anxiety when it has nothing to do with me? And all I have to do is set my glance, meaning our thought process, into something that has clarity and purity and is uncomplicated. So I really liked that, and I like that message. And sometimes what we can do, and I will do for myself before I go to sleep, is I'll start to concentrate on a certain issue that I want to work through, and it will come to me and be worked up through my subconscious in my dream state, and then it makes sense in the morning. So really concentrate, write it down, release it. And because that is one of the things I realize a lot of people need to work on, is to clarify what really has meaning and importance, and to set behaviors that move in that direction, and to tweak, and reassign attention where it's needed, right? Because throughout the day, sometimes we get derailed, people, places, and things draw our attention that way. And then to get back on that track of, I don't need to do so much or be going in so many directions or overwhelm myself if I just keep the focus on the one thing that I'm trying to do right then, right? And purify and simplify. And that gives us a sense of well-being. I always feel well-being when I'm doing one thing, doing it well, and giving it my all, right? As opposed to trying to multitask and overdo things, right? As humans, we tend to like, let's do more is better, right? And it's just not true. So let's all really kind of like ratify that constitution of ourselves. Like, we don't need to just be filling in more, because when we do that, it kind of dilutes our focus on the one thing we should be focusing on. Even if it's really simple, like I want to write a nice thank you letter. I don't need to have all these screens in front of me and listening to stuff on TV. And I will do that. And now I'll stop. If I'm listening to a reader or somebody that I like, I'll actually stop if somebody else comes in the room and starts talking to me, because I want to hear everything that's being said. Why else would I tap into, play? And why do I want to hear this? So one thing at a time, doing it well, bringing in a sense of calm, deep breathing, all of that. And it's like really utilizing free time in a lovely, restful way instead of trying to cram in more tasks, right? So that's your daily pop, you guys. I'm going to go upload love and light.